If you notice, most of the cash flow used in our example only have one sign changes, as in initially you invest on something and then the next year until the end of the cash flow timeline you gain profit. Initially the cash flow is negative and then it becomes positive. That is a conventional type of cash flow because it involves one sign changes. Sometimes you call it simple cash flow. However, in certain situations, you will notice that the cash flow consists of multiple sign changes, as in more than one sign changes. Kejap dia positive, kejap dia negative, and then dia positive again, and so on. That series is a non-conventional cash flow diagram. In this situation, there may exist more than one value of rate of return, or there are more than one value of interest rate. So basically, there are two types of tests which you can use to get an idea on how many interest rate or rate of return value exists in that particular situation. So the first test, or the rule of sign test, or the Descartes test, it is related to the total value of rate of return. This test states that the number of sign changes in your net cash flow series is equivalent to the total number of rate of return. So if there are two sign changes, then there are two value of rate of return. If there are three sign changes, then there are three values of rate of return. Okay. The second test is related to the cumulative cash flow. Okay, cumulative cash flow, or known as the Nordstrom's criterion. So in this test, it states that if there is only one sign changes in the cumulative net cash flow series, and if that series starts with a negative value, it means that there will be one positive interest rate or rate of return. So maybe, for example, in test 1, you identified that there are two possible rate of return value. So in test 2, if it fulfills the criterion in test 2, then maybe one of the value is negative, another one is positive. Okay, so let's look at an example. Let's draw the cash flow diagram based on the given table. Observe for any sign changes. Sign changes means the cash flow change from positive to negative, or from negative to positive value. So as you can see, there are one sign changes from year 0 to year 1, and another sign change on year 2 to year 3. So in total, there are two sign changes in this cash flow. According to the first test, we can say that two possible value of interest rate or rate of return exist in this situation. If you draw up the table of the cash flow, the first column is for the cash flow, which is shown, which is attained from the question, while the second column is for the cumulative cash flow. So in the cumulative cash flow from year 0 to year 1, the cumulative value is 2,000 plus negative 500. So it becomes 1,500. And then on year 2, 8,100 goes out. So the remaining balance is 1,500 plus with negative 8,100. So that's why it becomes negative 6,600, and so on. So as you can see, in the cumulative net cash flow column, it does not start with a negative cash flow. It starts with a positive 2,000. And also it involves two sign changes, which is from year 1 to year 2, and also from year 2 to year 3. So this condition does not fulfill the requirement for the second test. So in that case, we'll just state that this condition is inconclusive for test 2. So we cannot simply say that there is one positive interest rate value. In this case, there may be two positive interest rate value, or maybe two positive, or maybe two negative. Now, in order to answer the second question, you have to convert everything in the cash flow diagram into an equivalent present worth. So there are four types of cash flow in this example: the 2000, the 500, the 8100, and 6800. So you have to convert all the cash flow into an equivalent present worth. So you can use the estimation method we did just now, or another way which is so much simpler is to use the spreadsheet function. So you in your spreadsheet or your Excel file, in the column you just type in IRR and bracket, you select the column of the net cash flow, and then it will give you the predicted interest rate or the rate of return for that particular cash flow diagram. Another more conventional way is for you to draw the polynomial line on a graph paper, and then where it crosses the x-axis, then that is your estimated I value or the rate of return. So in this case, our rate of return is expected to be at 7.47%, and another value is at 41.35%. So as you can see in this particular situation where there are multiple sign changes, then the value of the interest rate, and then there are two values of interest rate exists.